kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah! You want to run or you want to duck down? You want to duck, just go over and get under the bench and stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets.
Jets. There he is, Gunny, the accordion-loving Jets fan. It's good to see you. We are back. This is a Thursday thick of it. Welcome to everyone. Gunny, this has been, I think, maybe a month.
It's been a month.
Look at
brother.
this.
It's been a while.
Yeah. How are you, my friend?
I've missed you. I've missed you. I've missed the show. I've missed chopping it up with everybody, man. A lot's happened so far in the offseason, a very exciting offseason for the Jets, needless to say, thus far. And we haven't even really done anything that's going to impact players yet. Like, we don't have any new players on the board, but it's been pretty newsworthy offseason thus far. But yeah, man, missed you. I'm glad to be back.
Well, Gunny, I got to be honest. It's glad to have you back. We had a fun show last week. I wish you could have popped in. I knew you were out of town.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were going to make it or not, but it's nice to have you this week, and we'll have a good time, man. You know, and remind everybody again, this is the Thursday thick of it. We're happy that you're here. We did a fun news show last night on the Talkin Jets network with Tigo and myself. I think that one's going to evolve nicely. It was a good time. We also had the inaugural Matt O'Leary and real quick, this guy. See that? Look at that. So subliminal.
I saw that.
Boom.
A little subliminal flash right there.
What's up, Jeremy? Jeremy and Matt O'Leary did the reality check today, which was a fun show. Truth is, I wanted Jeremy to be more. I wanted Jeremy to be more rambunctious. I wanted him to. I wanted them to do more. I want him to be loud. That's what I wanted. But you were good. You were very good. Well, we'll see. I'm going to talk to Jeremy about how to pull out I want to see more Jeremy. That's what I want to see. More Jeremy in the Jeremy. That's what I want. But yeah, we had a good time. And so yeah, man, the Talkin Jets network is growing. Tigo, Dom C, and Jeremy are new additions to the crew there. And they've always been part of the crew here, as we know. You can follow Gunny, Jeremy, Tigo, Dom C. Their links are all in the description of this video, as they are in most of my videos. So just if you're looking for those guys, you can do that. I want to remind everybody about the Milk Thumbs. Go ahead and smash that like button for us here. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. It is greatly appreciated. And I want to tell you about a fun event before we get cooking. A fun event that we are doing for the first time. As you guys know, Ryan, Matt O'Leary, and myself have been doing the draft live stream for the past 4 years. This is the first year. We are also going to be doing it on location, live at the Main Event Bar and Grill on Long Island. I got yelled at. I said in Long Island last night. Like I would say in New York.
Yeah, no, that's
Long Islanders. They don't like that, Gunny.
Yeah, they hate that.
I yelled at. I said, "Well, I'm from Jersey. What do I know? I was born in Jersey. I don't know anything. So I'm learning. And we're going to do it on Long Island for the first round. We are also going to be doing the live stream. But if you're there, you can be part of the stream. We have crowd cams. There's 3 hours of open bar, unlimited buffet, all kinds of ticket giveaways and jersey giveaways for the folks on location. It's going to be a good time. And the link to buy the tickets is also in the description of this video. And before we move on, I do want to remind you of the world's greatest hydration multiplier right here. We got all these boxes. I'm going to give one of these away tonight. Again, I have like 4 more flavors left. I'll give you guys one of these. This is Liquid IV. The link to save 15% off of your purchase of Liquid IV is in the description of this very video. The hydration multiplier. You can see that stuff. It's literally everywhere, man, because it's the good stuff. Stop with the Gatorades and the Powerades. That's sugar water. This is the real deal, and you can save 15% using the promo code GreenBean Jetsfan. Link is in the description. And that, as they say, is that. Gunny, there's, like you said, we've had a newsworthy period. But the thing is, the Jets, we're always newsworthy. We never shut up. We never stop. There's no downtime for Jets. You know, doesn't it feel like that? It's every offseason, all the other teams, the Seahawks, the Card, everybody's resting. They're taking a break. Not the Jets. We're out front. What the hell is that, you think?
I think it's because of the market, man. And again, having this kind of a fan base where we kind of like live and breathe New York Jets, man. See, in the season, off season. This is a fan base that gives a lot back, I think, to the media markets. So we're easy. It's easy for them to get engagement. You know, you talk about the New York Jets, we're gonna watch. People are gonna watch. Those who love the Jets are gonna watch. Those who hate the Jets are gonna watch. For some reason, they love to hate us, and we love to watch it. So I think that's what it is, man. Ultimately, we're just newsworthy all the time, even when we're not technically relevant as an organization.
Right. Yeah, technically. You know, I like that. We're technically a piece of shit. We're not very good, everybody. Technically speaking, we are irrelevant, but as far as relevancy goes, you'd think that we were the tops because the Super Bowl is this weekend, and we have Jets news stealing the spotlight in the middle of nowhere. And now we even have, listen to this one, Gunny. Let's start with this, and then we'll get into the Saleh stuff and what you think. I'm really curious to hear what you think, and we'll talk to the chat a little bit about whether or not we should move on, and what are some options if we do, and how realistic they are. But what about this one? This has taken the front page this week, which is the World Cup of FIFA is coming to town. So Woody Johnson goes out there this week and he says, what did he say? Hold on. I want to get this right. He said, this is the biggest event in human history. Gunny, the World Cup coming to MetLife Stadium is the biggest event in human history. That's what he said. Now, dramatic maybe, but I don't know how connected to the reality Woody really is. I really like the biggest event, like bigger than the pyramids, or I mean, like bigger than. I mean, there's like this is
there's a lot going on right now.
I mean, I know there's a lot going on. I mean, I can't even, but it's like, so here's the interesting thing, though, Gunny. The World Cup isn't playing games. They're saying, no, we're not playing on your garbage turf. You're gonna put real grass. We only play on real grass. Our players are worth it. We want to see the sport the way it should be. The NFL doesn't seem to get that, but the FIFA does. So they're requiring that MetLife change the field for their events, and it's going to be real grass. Now, a lot of Jets fans like myself, while I do have, I don't know how much hope I have, really, but I do hope that if the grass is already there, just leave it. Because we've now lost 15 players have had season-ending injuries on MetLife's field. 15. Numerous this year.
Yep.
So it's like, it's really something else. How likely do you think it is that the Jets and Woody and the Maras and just decide, you know what, the grass is already in, let's just keep it?
In all actuality, I think that between Woody and the Giants owner and Woody Johnson, like we're gonna go back to turf. I think they're gonna switch it all out just for the World Cup. And in order to go ahead and save a buck or whatever it might be, or in maintenance or whatever the case might be, they're going to go ahead and go back to turf, which to me is ridiculous. I think when you're looking at the amount of injuries we've gotten on this particular freaking field at MetLife Turf, it's one of the worst. You see players talk about it. They hate it. You know what I'm saying? The fans talk about it. We hate it. You're seeing millions and millions of dollars of investments into these players that we never get to see for a full season because we got this raggedy turf. There's even this turf 2.0 that was supposed to be better. We saw nonstop injuries this year as well. That didn't actually help the situation. So grass makes too much sense. And I think grass makes so much sense for us and the players that because of that, the New York Jets will shift back to turf after the World Cup is over, which is just idiotic to me because you're losing millions in terms of opportunity when you're losing star players left and right to this freaking turf.
It's so sad to think that. I mean, I happen to believe the same thing.
Yeah.
I happen to believe the same thing. Now, Dakota's talking about him being fed up with the staff. But what about the damn turf, Dakota?
Yeah.
What about the turf? Garrett Wilson, one of our honest to goodness young stars. He's a star, right?
Freaking
Stud muffin. And I mean, he's the first receiver ever in Jets history to start his career with 2,000 yard seasons. He's the first receiver since Keyshawn Johnson in 1998 and 99 to have 2 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, period. So that's even in the 2000s, this millennium we haven't done. And he is saying this field is garbage. That's what he's saying. We've seen all kinds of players get hurt on it, but even when they didn't get hurt, we see all kinds of weird slips when their ankle bends and their knee pop. It's like even the guys that it didn't take out, you can see that it's trying. This field is working overtime.
It wants to go ahead and take names and just hold them hostage. Like it wants to do it.
It really does. And you would think that, number one, the idea like that, FIFA saying, no, absolutely not. We're not playing on that. We play on real grass. Now, everybody knows that the soccer leagues do that.
Yeah.
But, they're coming into our house and they're saying that. And then it's going to be there. It's going to already be in the damn stadium. And they're still going to rip it up and take it out, aren't they, Gunny?
Yep, 100%. I believe without question that they're still going to go ahead and take it out, which, again, makes zero sense. It makes no sense to me. I feel like once it's there, why not? Let's take a test run. Even if it's just for the test run for that season to get an idea of, hey, is this going to go ahead and save players' bodies or we can see more efficient play down the stretch? I just don't believe we've got the right personnel or mindset at the helm of the New York Jets to look at this financially. They're going to look at like what the immediate cost is vice the long-term cost. And I think that's what's going to be the reason why we wind up switching back to turf. And it's frustrating because we all see how it can be a benefit. And even if, and I saw some people talk about how like, hey, listen, there were equal injuries on turf, vice, grass, this year. And there was a lot of lower body injuries on both. I'll give that. The mentality of the players matters, right? If the players believe it's going to be a better impact on their bodies or it helps them out mentally, I would think you want to invest in the mental aspect of the game as well for our guys to go a little bit harder because they feel or believe, hey, it's grass. I'm good. This is going to allow me to go ahead and take the hit better or whatever. So I just don't think anybody is taking this as serious as they should be, even though it's been screamed at the top of the hills by players, fans, even other teams. Other owners have talked about how they hate this field. For some reason or the other, we're just like, we don't care. We're going to do what we do.
Yeah. It's a sad thing. I mean, it really is. Again, because look, this is a $6 billion organization that pays $200+ million to its players every year. And you think it's like $1 million or something like that, or whatever it is. It's like, it's not expensive by comparison to just completely fix it and maintain it. It's not expensive. And, it's really upsetting. And I think that it also will impact free agents coming here too, because like you said, it's not that people don't get injured on everything, but when you have a field that is more inclined to injure you, and that's where you're going to be playing 8 of your games, half of all of your games are going to be on that field. It's an issue. And then you have the whole thing that a lot of players say, when you play on turf and then grass and then turf, and it changes something and it actually makes you more likely to get injured. Which is another interesting wrinkle that I wouldn't even have thought about. But hey, if that's the case too. So I don't know. I still have hope. Maybe we sign a petition or something, get Jeremy to kind of push his way into Woody's office and hand him our petition. Maybe that'll do it. Jeremy can do it. I mean, I have nothing but faith. He got 2 interviews with Ulbricht down at the Senior Bowl. So if anybody can do it, it's Jeremy. Now I want to say hello to Gitmo Bob, and this will help us go into the next subject here. Hello, Bob. It's good to see you, buddy. He says, here we go again. All the rats are leaving the sinking ship. Could Saleh and JD be far behind? Well, right before this stream, Gunny and I were talking, and he shared a similar feeling as Gitmo Bob here. He said, it feels like Everybody's jumping ship. My question was, well, who's jumping ship? Who, and he said, well, obviously we have the two. We fired Rex Hogan and Chad Alexander got a promotion. He got hired with the Chargers, I believe. So good for Chad Alexander. I would have liked to keep him. I like Chad Alexander. But it is what it is. Guys leave. When they leave, it's actually a good sign that when your guys are getting promoted around the league, it shows that there's at least some respect for the staff that you have, whether it's coaching, personnel, or what have you. But we fired Rex Hogan for whatever that was. We don't know the full story, but who else is leaving? So Gunny said he pointed out Michael Carter, Adrian Amos, Dalvin Cook, and then you can add Saffold if you want. Yeah. But and my question to him was this. I said, well, tell me which one you care the most about. And he said, well, none really. So I mean, are we that concerned, or are we choosing to focus on this? Like, I don't know. I mean, is it people running and bailing, or is this just a natural cycle? A couple guys get hired or promoted. Your offensive coordinator gets a head coaching job. Hopefully, you get a guy, he gets promoted to an offensive coordinator somewhere. Those are the natural things that happen around the league. It's just not for us because we're used to just firing our shitty staff every couple of years. But realistically, is this a concern, Gunny? How do you see this?
It's concerning in the fact that we kind of saw a roller coaster of events, right? After that story leaked in regards to the chaos within the walls of One Jets Drive, you start seeing these shortly after. And in all actuality, if we're being honest about it, all these moves are happening, all these dismissals are happening. The biggest problem has not been addressed. We all saw it. We all think Hackett is a hack. We all realized that throughout the season that this guy was incompetent and not capable of running an offense. We heard about it from the Denver Broncos. We thought Sean Payton was a jerk for talking the way he did, but in all actuality, we all realized my man was just speaking the truth. And then we saw it again this year in regards to how he was unable to adjust. And then you heard the stories about how, this dude clearly, was not liked by some people within the building. And then you're seeing these moves happen, and this is still the guy, right? It almost feels as if there's an effort being made right now to go ahead and make it seem like moves are being made, when in reality, the moves being made aren't going to impact, I think, the future in a positive way. The real problems are still in the building, and I think Nathaniel Hackett is one of them. But seeing other components jump ship or be let go, whatever the case might be, but get picked up damn near right away on other organizations is letting me feel like we're losing potentially some quality pieces. And the draft is right around the corner. And we're losing individuals who are literally going to impact, input on how the draft goes. And I don't see any news being made to where they're going to replace those guys. I think Tigo brought it up that he doesn't believe there's any replacement in mind for the Rex Hogan position. So I'm concerned. I'm very concerned. Maybe it's the pessimist in me, man, but I look at what we've seen over the last couple of years. Yeah, granted, we had an incredible 2022 draft with Jermaine Johnson, Breece Hall, Sauce Gardner, and Garrett Wilson. I get that, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if that's enough for us to go ahead and say, hey, look, we've had the same GM for the last 4 years now. We're all happy about the one draft. But Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be here for the next 5 years for him to have another elite draft, right? So are we feeling confident as a fan base? I'm not. I'm concerned. I'm worried. And it's making me question a lot about in terms of what the walls look like. Are the walls being held up by freaking glue? Maybe bubble gum? Because I don't know if there's much cement right now in one Jets Drive's freaking headquarters in terms of how these walls are being built up. So I'm concerned.
Interesting, because I'm going to tell you right now, with all due respect, I feel exactly the opposite. That's how maybe not exactly, but I'm almost a complete 180. I think this is much to do of nothing. I think that when you have people leaving, like Taylor Embry gets fired, you fire Rex Hogan, and they're going to, they get asked questions. They're obviously not happy. There's a reason why they're not here. And, you're starting to hear things like in that article, there was the comment that the players are tired of Aaron Rodgers' shtick, or whatever it is. They voted him the fucking most inspirational player. I think I heard Jeremy talking about that maybe on the show earlier. I mean, that's not the Woody Johnson or Joe Douglas giving him that award. Who's tired of Aaron Rodgers? I mean, maybe we can wish, he doesn't, talk about Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, but it's all such small potatoes. I think what we've seen about Hackett, we all fucking saw that all year. It's not news about him not. Dude, he said publicly, I didn't realize Breece Hall could be such a threat in the backfield, in the passing game. Just that alone, there's nothing that can be said in an article about Hackett that changes any. That comment cemented what I think about this guy. Now, the idea that Saleh's losing the locker room, dude, we won. I mean, look, and I like to make fun of this about it. It's not the biggest positive in the world, but it's true. They won 3 of the last 5 games. We didn't even want them to, half of us. So they won 3 of the last 5 games. What I'm looking at is here. We talk about the Joe Douglas draft only being 2022. Tell me this, and then we can go our separate ways if we really see this differently. Look at the team today and look at the team in 2019 and 2020. Is it better? Is it a better team?
I'm going to be honest with you. I think in terms of pure talent, yes, right. The team obviously is better. I mean, but it's kind of hard to not have improved from the previous regime of garbage that we had in the building.
Is it not a better team?
Yes, but what was the biggest thing that I think we all thought we were going to be getting with a Joe Douglas regime? Right. I think the majority of us knew this is a guy who created a wall for the Eagles. He was an offensive line focused freaking GM. A lot of people give him credit for. I'm sorry. I can't give him credit for the defense. I do believe the defense is literally Coach Saleh. I think that he was the one that made the inputs in terms of who to bring in, who he believes can go ahead and make this freaking defense great. So every time everybody says Sauce Gardner, blah, blah, listen, cool. I don't give him credit for that. I give all that to Coach Saleh.
Really?
I do. I 100% do.
But at the same time, are you giving him fault for the misses? For the swing and a miss players? Are you blaming Joe Douglas defense? Or Robert Saleh? Everybody, anybody.
It's the offense. The majority of the misses are on the offense side of the ball. If we're being honest, the majority of the defense, the misses are on the offense side of the ball. Coach Saleh is not an offensive coach. We all know this. He's a defensive-minded coach. Y'all don't see some kind of core. I look at it and I'm like, man, it's crazy because the defensive picks seem to be freaking hitting at a higher cyclic clip than the offense, whereas Joe Douglas was an offensive line coach, like an offensive lineman himself, offensive-minded coach. But that side of the ball is missing. But the defensive side of the ball, we're seeing a lot of those guys hitting. So for me, it just 1 + 1 = 2. Coach Saleh is the guy in charge of the defense. He knows that part. He's giving his input. GM realizes I'm an offensive line guru, or so we thought. And he's taking that information and running with it while making the offensive pick. Other than Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, how do we feel about the offensive picks that we've made? I don't. The offensive picks have been
okay. Well, let's take a look at them. Okay, you got guys. All right, so you got AVT, who's an absolute stud, but he's hurt. Now, is that Joe Douglas or is that what? What is that? Who do we blame there?
Man, that was rough. So AVT, I will say is a positive. It's a positive. I think. All right, so
there's one. There's one. He's a positive. Even if he keeps getting hurt and his career ends up being nothing, it's a fucking great pick. All right, he's a stud. He had no injury history. He's a versatile guy. Yep. He's just as good at tackling. You can fucking stick that guy in at center. I'm telling you, by 2 drives, he'd figure it out. He's that kind of a guy. Gotcha. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Right? He's a great pick. Look at Elijah Moore. Okay, Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims, Michael Carter. Who do we blame for those guys all of a sudden either sucking terribly or wanting off the team? 2 wanted off the team. 1 guy, we decided that we were going to make him learn 3 positions or whatever the hell that was. So is that Joe Douglas or is that Robert Saleh? Who's doing that? Why does Elijah Moore want to leave? Why does Elijah Moore want to leave the team?
But looking at how those guys have played outside of our building, they haven't been impressive at all for their draft positions.
Elijah Moore is fine. Dude, if Elijah Moore gave us if we had Elijah Moore, the exact numbers that he put up in Cleveland on our team, he'd be wide receiver 2 without question. Let's take a
I think
look.
Elijah Moore did that great last year.
I'm not saying he was. I'm not saying he lit the world up. Let's take a look. See, I'll take a look. Although this is, I don't know if Tigo's free, but this is the kind of stuff. Let me see. Did I spell that right? Let's see. I'll just look. This is the one. I might have spelled that. Oh, I put 2 I's in there. What's wrong? All right. So Elijah Moore. Clearly, I don't know how to spell Elijah Moore. I don't know what's happening.
Elijah. Right.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But
what I got.
He's given us this level of production as a New York Jet. In fact, I would say better. He's gotten more touchdowns in year one than he did. He's actually averaged more yards per reception. And we still were okay with him being kicked to the curb.
Right. Why? No, we weren't okay with him being kicked to the curb. He wanted to leave. The rumor, he asked for a trade and he was going to ask for another. That's the news that came out. He was asking for another trade.
But would you say this is wide receiver 2 numbers that could impact us right now in the NFL?
Hold on. Let me look. Yeah. No. On the Jets, 600. So he had 59 receptions for 640 yards and 2 touchdowns. You wouldn't have wanted that on our team this year?
Yeah, but I think anybody currently we have on the team right now could have probably gotten that if we had a quarterback.
Have probably gotten. Doesn't matter. You know, look, you got Garrett Wilson doing everything by himself. He has 2 years of 1,000 yards. Right. Elijah Moore is good. And again, maybe he's not meeting his draft position, 640 yards. If he can put that together, 600 yards a season, he's a fine player. He's an asset on the offense. It was a decent pick. It wasn't my pick. It wasn't what I wanted. He's a good pick. He's a player that wanted out of the organization. Why? Is that a Joe Douglas thing or is that a Robert Saleh thing? That's what I'm asking.
I think that's a character thing.
Well,
I think that's a character thing.
Yeah. So
because if I'm
go on.
Well, if I'm coming into the NFL, right, and I believe I'm him, I'm that dude, and I get an opportunity when everybody else passed up on me because of disciplinary issues or question marks in college, and the Jets gave me the opportunity, I'm feasting. I'm taking every opportunity given to me to go ahead, excel, and show at the very least my character is unquestioned. He didn't do that. His character was in fact in question, and for what? Yeah, for a wide receiver 2 to think, for a wide receiver 2 to assume. What do you mean? He didn't do anything in Cleveland. He's had a better season with us his rookie year.
He has not. He had 538 yards on 43 receptions. He had 640.
Look at the average. 12.5 yards a touch. Like 12.5 yards,
right.
5 touchdowns. That's better to me than the 640 yards. God knows how many of those were in garbage time.
How could you say that
he
better?
received?
I don't understand how you can say that
because we're talking about 100 yards difference.
About 16 more receptions, but it doesn't matter, dude. You got to look at all that stuff. We could be talking about fucking 3rd and 1, Gunny. You know what I mean? We could be looking at all that kind of stuff. But
we could also be talking about garbage time.
But we're not. That's the thing. And you got to add. We talked about if he had a real quarterback. He had 5 quarterbacks this year in Cleveland. So, and again, I'm not trying to say that Elijah Moore is Garrett Wilson. I'm not. I'm just trying to point out the pick itself. You know, like saying that Saleh gets all the credit for the defense, but Joe Douglas gets all the credit for all the misses on the offense, I think is unfair. That's what I'm trying to say. While I think you're right that they did a significantly better job on defense, but look at the players, though, too, that they took on defense. You know, and I will give the one area that I give Saleh a ton of credit is, and I say it time and time again, this is clearly his defense. This is exactly what he did in San Francisco. So you can't throw out the baby with the bathwater when you're talking about not wanting Saleh or you don't like him. You know, there's all reasons to do that, but you have to factor in how fucking dominant this defense is. I mean, this is 100%. Something that we haven't seen here, but the offense is the issue. But we're now on our 2nd offensive coordinator. Whose problem is that? We've been using the same crappy quarterback the whole time. So if Aaron Rodgers doesn't go down, we don't know what this year is, right? We really don't. We don't know how bad the offensive line really is, even with the injuries. But so that's all stuff that could change this whole conversation. But the question I'm asking, and I really don't think it's debatable. I really don't. Is the team, let me ask you this, is Aaron Rodgers able to be courted to the 2019 New York Jets? Let me ask you that. Could we have gotten Aaron Rodgers to go on McAfee and say, my choice is to play and I'm playing for the New York Jets. Could he have done that?
There's no way.
And that's the point.
No way.
So that's the whole point, even with all the misses. And the truth is, a lot of it's injury. Whether you look at Mekhi Becton's 2 years with injury, ABT's 2 years. These are guys without injury histories. Cam Clark, no injury history, never played for us. Right? You got all these guys, like he's taken tons of offensive linemen and everything. And I'm not taking him off the hot seat. I'm not. But I'm just saying, like, to keep things equal, this team is actually not that far away. And all this drama shit is just that. To me, I don't see barely anything that I didn't know. The only thing that to me could be a story if it was real is that Robert Saleh got everybody together and demanded their cell phones. Like, that to me is like, all right, number one, it seems unreal. It seems stupid to me. But number two, if it did happen, that's a weird one. That's bad. Like, what are you doing, dude? Why are you locking the doors? It's like that movie. Remember the movie Joe, the principal of Patterson, New Jersey, and he locked all the doors so the drug dealers couldn't get in. Do you remember that movie?
Correct. Yep, I remember that movie.
Oh, Clark, right? He changed it. It reminds me of that. It's like, really? What did he have? Security at the doors? Fucking give me your cell phones. Like, I don't know. It just seems a little bit like fantasy land to me. It seems dramatic.
Let me be clear, GreenBean. I think the whole GM, coaching staff, all of them need to be switched out. The only person right now, special teams coach, defensive coordinator, are the only ones that I feel like have earned their way. So that includes Saleh. I'm not passing. If it was up to me, I was the owner of this team today, I'm washing the board with all of them. I would have had Jim Harbaugh in for a freaking conversation. Like, I'm not giving a pass at all. I'm just saying, in terms of the current regime as it stands, we all know Joe Douglas is not a defensive-minded GM. He's never played defense. He's never coached. He's not defensive-oriented at all. Like, he was supposed to come in here and be the offensive line guru that we were all hoping was going to fix it, right? The biggest thing he did was, I'm going to hire a defensive-minded coach, which in this case was Coach Saleh. The only thing we saw improve on our team with him coming in, honestly, is the defense. The defense went to top 3 defense in the league while we still have a bottom 2 offense. Like, so for me, when it comes down to it, like, I hold Joe Douglas responsible for that, because when we brought him in, I was like, oh, thank God, this guy knows offense, man. He was an offensive lineman. Our offensive line's going to get back on track, and we haven't seen. Now, granted, injuries have been a thing, but we've seen injuries on the defense side of the football too, and those guys still find a way to make things work, right? Like, in terms of other guys stepping up.
In fairness, and I'm almost scared to say this out loud, the truth is that the last 2 years, our defense has been remarkably healthy. Healthier than we've ever. I get a knock on all kinds of shit. I got 3 different kinds of woods. I just knocked on everybody.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you
3
that.
woods. But that's the interesting. And again, it's not an excuse. It's just to look at things objectively. Like when we talk about, being really concerned. The truth is that up until last year, even though it wasn't working out, like with, injured like ABT and Becton, and great examples of just guys that we really thought had a very, very good chance of being high-level contributors, and they were off the field and we couldn't even see them. Up until this offseason, I thought that the mindset behind the Joe Douglas plan was perfect. See, every draft, he takes at least usually 2 offensive linemen. Every draft, he takes one kind of up front and he takes one in the back. You look at, the first time we started it with Becton and Cam Clark, both gone. So it's almost as if we never got to see him up until this year. But so it just because it didn't work, the plan, what he's doing is logical, where the Jets in the past, there was no plan, right? It just seemed like we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We were just taking random players. It never made sense. This at least makes sense. I'm with you that the fact that the offensive line is still this bad, there's no excuse for it, especially this year, because he took a lackadaisical approach going into the whole offseason, but particularly offensive line and wide receiver. It was like, what are you doing, dude? Like, we're not okay. We need help. And he just didn't seem to feel the same way. Now, he did draft Carter Warren, in the 4th round. He did take Tippmann. So again, two linemen in a draft. So it's weird. It's like, it's hard to ignore that he's still bringing in guys. for the position. He's doing it every year, which Jets GMs have never done. Historically, we've never done the work on the offensive line that Joe Douglas has done. It's just not working. But where I stand is this. We have a full draft and a full free agency going into a season that we're getting a Hall of Fame quarterback back. We have a top 3 defense, and we have Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Tittman, Ruckert, Conklin. Like, we are not bare. Our cupboards are not bare. This is not a teardown. And if they think Robert Saleh is the issue, then maybe you got a point. You know what I mean? Okay, you cut the head off and you just keep everything else if he's the issue. You know, if he's a kind of, you know, he's not really a good head coach. He's soft and he's making excuses for people. If that's really what they see, like if Woody and Joe Douglas sit, you know, honestly look at it and go, the whole problem is Robert Saleh, then that's a different story. But tearing all this out right now because we're spooked because of one article says a bunch of shit that 90% we already knew doesn't seem like a concern to me. Forgive me.
But it's not just the article, GreenBean. Like, I think it got to this point to where the article revealed a bunch of stuff, right? Like you were just saying, things that we kind of already had an idea about. The fact that it's gotten to this point means that there's disloyalty inside the locker room. It means that there's some kind of discontent. We were all talking about, hey, Saleh at least somehow kept them together, and we were able to go ahead and win this many games. But this leaked. 30-something people decided they wanted to talk about how bad things were in that building. So he didn't really keep them together, right? We might have won those games because, yeah, we got pure talent on that defensive side of the ball and dogs like Breece Hall forcing his way into the end zone and Garrett Wilson. But it doesn't seem like it was coaching involved. It just felt like the players kind of willed it. Because if 30-plus people are talking about the inconsistency and the issues and felt comfortable enough to say, hey, this is the kind of crap we're seeing to a beat writer for the New York Jets, like I feel like Saleh doesn't really have the room to get like we all thought. But I got a question for you, if I'm being honest. So you just said we've got Aaron Rodgers coming back. Do you think this team is that close that Aaron Rodgers can be the catalyst if we make a couple of tweaks to get us to a Super Bowl? Because for me, the Rodgers trade was for a Super Bowl appearance, at least, right? Like a deep run into the playoffs. Do you believe that we're still that close, that with a healthy freaking Rodgers, we're only a few pieces away?
Yeah, and those few pieces being very particular, though, very specific. I want a tackle, I want a guard, I want a tackle, I want a wide receiver. That's what I want. You know what I mean? Like it needs to be focused for sure. You know, I think this year the positive that could come out of this, if they respond correctly, is that we saw clearly what the issue was. There's no hiding it anymore. Like the whole idea with 2022, like, I don't know, you know, Zach, you know, we just got to get a quarterback. It's like, yes, Zach is a huge issue. And the fact that we had to watch him this year, I think really skews things as well. But it's like, it is clear, dude, we need offensive line help. Becton ain't it. Whatever happened to him, and then he got injured again. He got even worse after the injury with penalties, and he was already bad, and he got even worse after the injury. I think it was his ankle or whatever. He missed the game, so he lost his I want to say horizontal. What is it, Tigo? What's that word again? Lateral. There it is.
Lateral
Thank
limits.
you, Tigo.
Yeah.
Tigo's awesome, man. Thank you, Tigo, getting me the right words. So he lost his lateral movement. Yeah, and you can see it. So I think that they can clearly see now, like our resources have to go toward the offensive line and weapons. And if we do that, absolutely, dude. Who do we lose on defense? Who we losing? Maybe Jordan Whitehead? Fuck him. You know what I mean? The guy can't tackle for shit. Get Jordan Whitehead. I mean, even if they re-signed him, I'm fine. But they can easily upgrade over Jordan Whitehead, in my opinion. You can go out there and you can get a Jordan Whitehead without batting an eyelash. Who else is leaving? I mean, we lost Al Woods. Maybe you re-signed Quentin Jefferson, but you can get 2 big bodies for the defensive line in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th rounds, in my opinion. That's a great place to get run-stuffing fat boys, in my opinion. I love 6th-round defensive tackles. Love them.
You're right. But I look at that offensive side of the ball, GreenBean, and I respectfully disagree, man. I'm worried. I'm actually terrified. So I think a lot of us are believing that the Aaron Rodgers we're going to be getting back this season is the Aaron Rodgers we saw in his prime, dominating Green Bay and on the NFC, just doing his own thing. This was an Aaron Rodgers that was in a much weaker freaking division. a much bigger conference, just running through things like it wasn't nothing, right? We've seen individuals in the AFC, the Peyton Mannings of the world, right? Like the Phillip Rivers of the world, right? The Dan Marinos of the world. Like these guys were all time like in the conversation of like greats, not really impact anything in the AFC. It's a different beast. And for me, 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers coming here after an Achilles tear with our offensive line being in shambles, no wide receiver 2. I wouldn't even say we have a wide receiver 3. A running back 2. Who's the running back 2? Like there's so many questions, man, on the offensive side that as I sat back, because me and the wife were talking about this, and I was just like, damn, I'm starting to wonder if the last year Aaron Rodgers had in Green Bay is the new Aaron Rodgers. Is that the real Aaron Rodgers?
But what gives you what gives you that other than fear? Well, what doesn't? Because
age, follow time.
Because I'm going to tell you something. All it is fear. Of course, you can always say he's getting older, so there's no denying that. But just this year, my good friend Gunny Gunderson himself was saying the reason that he still had a 3,700-yard season with 27 touchdowns and 12 picks, whatever it was. He had a broken thumb. He was playing with all new wide receivers and lost his offensive coordinator in Hackett. And still, that's what we were saying. That was a down year. What gives us any reason to think
I saw Jordan Love, a rookie, take his team into the playoffs.
He's not a rookie.
Same exact roster.
He's not a rookie. He's a third-year player.
First year full season player, take his team into the playoffs, and people were literally talking about him being a freaking MVP. Why? Maybe call it the matchup, maybe call it the NFC, but were those guys really as bad as we all thought? We just saw a guy, Jordan Love, look like he's the second coming of Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. Like they haven't missed a step. So like all that stuff comes into play.
Yeah, but what does Jordan Love playing well have anything to do with Aaron Rodgers?
Because we were basing the Aaron Rodgers, like you just said.
Aaron Rodgers? No, hold on. Are you insinuating Aaron Rodgers is a system quarterback, that he's benefiting from the system? Is that what you're saying? Because he's had 8 systems or 5 systems, whatever the fuck it was when he was. So it's like,
no.
I mean, well, he had 3 completely different regimes and had the exact same output.
What I'm saying is we were basing a lot of the Aaron Rodgers potential off of the drops he dealt with, the rookie individual, the youth around him at freaking on the offense. I was doing it. I was saying, listen, y'all talk about Aaron Rodgers down year, but he had this, and this coming along with it. Jordan Love just took that same team into the playoffs. And again, we can deny it all we want to, but Father Time catches up with everybody, man. And an Achilles tear is a big deal. I know people are like, well, it's not a big deal because he's not a freaking running back or a wide receiver, but he is somebody who depends on his mobility to go ahead and create plays. Like he likes to extend plays by freaking getting outside of the pocket, using that cannon of an arm and getting it downfield. A portion of his game is going to have to take a step back, at least until we can see for a fact that like it's not impacted him. But for me to sit here and tell you that a 41-year-old
to say that all of a sudden you're entertaining that's the new Aaron Rodgers when you have nothing, there's no data to support that. None. There's no data.
But the thing is this though, we saw it the last time we saw Aaron Rodgers play. It was his worst season of his career. Granted, top 10 numbers still, but it was still top 10 numbers in the NFC behind a better offensive line and wide receivers we all said weren't good enough. That were good enough for Jordan Love. And now coming to our team with one decent wide receiver, one elite wide receiver and a bunch of question marks.
I'm saying, but we have a whole draft. Look, we're talking literally. Let me just say this. We're going to have, 9 draft picks, I think it is. 8 or 9 draft picks, something like that. Now, granted, some of those are 7th rounders, so that is what it is. But we're going to have, we have the ability to literally go and get 1 tackle, 1 guard, 1 wide receiver. This is a completely different team. And not even to say, and then add Aaron Rodgers. Now, there are comments in our private chat. Like Tigo says, Mahomes is going to the Super Bowl with a horrible O-line and no pass catchers. Quarterback changes a lot. My sentiments exactly. Not that we don't need to fix the offensive line, right? But the idea that we saw what the Jets really were with Zach Wilson when we already had 2 years of the exact same output from that guy, different offensive coordinator, different wide receivers, all this stuff, different offensive line. He's the same quarterback. We saw all this with the Jets. The idea that we're somehow not able to just get we're talking about a couple of positions. That's it. We know exactly what we need to fix. It's not tight end. It's not running back. It's not wide receiver 1. We don't need to fix any of that shit. None of it. All we need to do is there's going to be a whole mess of free agent wide receivers. You go get Tyler Boyd. You plug him into the offense. You use your second pick, if that's a second rounder that we end up getting, or a third. You plug in a third wide receiver for wide receiver 3. Alan Lazard, we already know, is better with Aaron Rodgers than he is with no-touch Wilson. We already know these things. So, and again, Conklin, Ruckert, and Yeboah, and everybody else. So we're good. Again, this is not a tear down. This is something that, and we still have the number 3 defense and elite special teams, assuming that we re-sign Zerline and what's his name, Morstead. Hopefully that we're not too stupid to let those guys go. But so if we do that, we have elite special teams, elite defense, and an offense that already has elite talent on it. It's already here. Elite talent, not just pretty good. Elite. Breece Hall could potentially be the best running back in the NFL. Could. If not, he's a top 5 range. That's not bad. Wide receiver, Garrett Wilson is an absolute stud, like we talked about before. I have no questions about what that guy can do. I'm not that concerned. And again, seeing Chad Alexander go, and we got rid of Adrian Amos and Michael Carter, and it's like these are fodder guys. These are just, with all due respect, Chad Alexander. I mean, I actually like him, but he's not moving the needle for me. I mean, what is he really doing? As far as what we can and can't do when Aaron Rodgers comes back. Aaron Rodgers would literally have to come back and be the worst he's ever played for this season to be shit, in my opinion.
So I got a question. I'm gonna just I saw people bring up Mahomes. I saw somebody even bring up Brock Purdy. Who on our team is Andy Reid or Kyle Shanahan? Who in our coaching staff is that guy? Like, and again, Aaron Rodgers. So exactly my point. So we're asking Aaron Rodgers, mind you, to not just play quarterback for the New York Jets, but to, in essence, be our offensive coordinator. Like, this is somebody that right now, I don't believe he has the help that he needs around him. And again, maybe call me a pessimist because I've been looking at it in a depressive state over the last freaking 3 months, right? Because the Jets do that to people. But the more and more I look at it like this. Aaron Rodgers was brought in here for us to at least have a chance at a Super Bowl. And he does that. As a quarterback, he does that. But as we've seen things progress this past year, just how bad the offensive line was, I was on board with like, man, a healthy this and a healthy that. And at the O-line, we got a top 5 freaking line. Wasn't the case in all actuality. Freaking Mekhi Becton took massive steps backwards. ABT, another freaking injury. Can we count on him to go ahead and play next year? I don't know. Aaron Rodgers going down with an Achilles really kind of freaking sucks. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers has the supporting cast, man. Andy Reid can sit there and look at things and be like, hey, Pat, boom, I'm going to go ahead and mock this up for you. You go here or here. He can simplify the game for him a little bit doing his job as a coach. We don't have – to me, Nathaniel Hackett still being in the building is just a disgrace. It's almost a slap in the face to the fan base. It's a slap in the face to the organization because we all were talking about how bad it was, and people will say, well, he had to limit the play calling because it was Zach Wilson. I don't know if he has a creative ability to call plays. I don't know if that's really in him. We saw him having the full realm, and that's where I look at it like it's not. So when I say a few pieces, you're right. We need offensive line. We need wide receiver depth. Maybe we can figure it all out in the offseason. I mean, again, mind you, we haven't figured out the offensive line situation in 4 years. So to just miraculously figure it out in 1 year, I'll be the optimistic and say, maybe it's possible. But at the end of the day, we still have Nathaniel Hackett as the OC when everyone and their mom could see that was an issue. And now we're asking Aaron Rodgers at 41 years old not only have to worry about, seeing the field, playing quarterback, but listen, my boy, you're going to have to also play offensive coordinator. And I think that's where I'm starting to go ahead and struggle a little bit. I'm like, man, I know he's an all-time great, but we saw Peyton Manning do it with Adam Gase. He made Adam Gase freaking look like he was an all-star. I get that. But we didn't have an Eric Decker or a Thomas as well, like on the offensive side of the ball. Julius Thomas, I guess it was two Thomases. The Eric Decker, the wide receiver Demaryius Thomas, then Julius Thomas. Those were freaking 3 Pro Bowlers that Peyton Manning had access to. I'm starting to freak out because I'm looking at the short window we have and the current regime in place, and I'm having a hard time believing because, like you just said, hey, we get the tackle, guard. I got that. I'm with you 100%. We've seen other teams do it. I haven't seen the Jets do it. We've been trying to figure the offensive line out for 4 years. So now all of a sudden with Aaron Rodgers with his last year or two left in one offseason, we're going to expect Joe Douglas to, you know what? I got it. I know what I was doing wrong the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time. But here it is the 5th time. This offensive line is going to be great. And that's where I start to get freaking worried.
That's a valid concern. But at the same time, he did just slam down Tippmann. Tippmann looks like a stud. If AVT we already know is a fucking great player. So that's two of the offensive linemen are already here. We don't know what Carter Warren is. I mean, he looked like he could be a player. I don't want to depend on him, but he's in the house. Again, your first round pick's going to be on a top 10 tackle. I don't know, man. I hear what you're saying, but again, we're talking about with Aaron Rodgers behind the line, not Zach Wilson. We haven't seen anything but Zach Wilson, except when we saw guys like Mike White or Flacco or Josh Johnson come in and throw for 300 yards with the same team that we all complained was too bad for Zach Wilson to succeed with. We saw other quarterbacks come in and just miraculously throw 3-bangers all over the fucking place. That's what they were doing. You know what I mean? Yep. So Zach Wilson makes the team look worse. And I'm not saying that there isn't work to do. Again, I'm saying most of what would need to be done for a championship roster is already here. And I see people in the chat saying that Rodgers isn't Brady. Dude, Rodgers, why isn't Rodgers Brady? Because he doesn't have the rings?
For the record, Aaron Rodgers has significantly more arm talent than Brady wishes he could ever have. Right? Like, yeah. Look at that comparison to me.
The 2 last AFC championship games, Aaron Rodgers threw for like 380 or whatever the hell it was. And the defense gave up 240 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, he can't control that. The defense was betraying him in those games, man. He did more than enough to win the game. And believe me, I knew because I didn't like him and I didn't want him to play well back then. I wanted Green Bay to suck.
Same, you know what I mean? My wife's a huge Packers fan, and I root against them consistently and constantly.
It's like Snoopy. That's a very limited, short-sighted thing. Tom Brady had the Bill Belichick defense. Aaron Rodgers did not. He never did.
The one time Rodgers had a top 10 defense, they won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
One time.
That's
he
it.
had a top 10 defense, they won the Super Bowl. Again, I'm hoping I'm wrong. Don't get it twisted. I'm hoping this is just my pessimistic self getting ahead of me, and I am 100% wrong. I just look at the aspect of, I think Hackett is a big problem. I don't think that was resolved by keeping him in play. That story leaking a lot of the stuff that was said is a lot of the stuff you heard coming out of Denver, right? Like, seems very similar in terms of the thought process of what the offense should look like. And for us to have a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers coming in on one leg to be the OC and the QB it's just concerning. It's very concerning. And I think all of us can agree we brought him here to give us a shot at a ring, like to go ahead and end the freaking curse and give a shot at a ring. So, I mean,
let me say this too. If you had, let's just say this, Jacoby Brissett was our quarterback this year. We won 7 games with Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, and Trevor Siemian. If Jacoby Brissett was our quarterback, is this a 9-win team?
We're in the playoffs. But
so there you go. Gunny.
We're in the playoffs because
we're in the playoffs.
Our schedule was very favorable.
Let's
not forget. I think our schedule this year, we had, I think it was 9.
Hold
10,
on, I got to bring Jeremy on. He looks like he's having a seizure. I want to make sure he's okay. Are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm listening. Tell Gunny while you're throwing. Tell Gunny why he's Gunny. Here's what he looks like. That's what
Go
I
ahead,
see.
hit
I'm
me
like,
up.
holy
What's
shit.
going on, Jeremy?
Lay it out there, Jeremy. Let's see what.
I just think we're forgetting some things. Our schedule. You were talking about Green Bay. You're good. You want to compare our schedule to Green Bay's schedule from last year? And see what it's all
No. That's not what I said. What I said was this: is that Aaron Rodgers doing what Aaron Rodgers has done in the NFC with Green Bay is not the same thing what we should expect in the AFC because it's a freaking gauntlet. And yeah, I get the schedule was easier, but ultimately their schedule last year was actually pretty easy too. If you look at the Green Bay Packers schedule, and I know this because Jessica talks about it nonstop, and I was just like, damn, that was a pretty easy schedule last year. And he had this kind of season that he had. This is the year before last. So Love doing what he did. To me, I'm looking at it apples to apples, and I'm like, all right, I see where you're coming from. Right. But this is not what I'm talking about at all. The NFC, when it comes to NFC and AFC, the NFC to me, I'm just like, okay, that's JV. The AFC is varsity, right? Like, you might get us here or there in the Super Bowl.
What that does, Gunny, is it softens everything you're saying about Jordan Love and all this kind of stuff. It softens all that. You know what I mean? Like, when we're using
because
that,
Aaron Rodgers just played there last year. But
that doesn't matter. But he played there. Dude, we're talking about 15 years of data that we have. We're using 1 year. You know what I mean?
Can we recognize a few factors here? When Rodgers was with Green Bay in his last year there, he played most of the season with a broken hand. That's pretty significant. And something, I mean, should he have just sat out and not played? Maybe then he wouldn't be getting this criticism. But he manned up for his team. The other thing is those receivers that he had on that team were rookies. Right. And they were often injured. And we're to the point where Lazard was his main starter. Because all of his guys, Watson, the other guy, I'm forgetting his name. But all of those guys.
Dubs. Yeah, let me see the games he played.
Right?
Actually, I'm curious. Wait,
Love got to play with
Christian Watson, right? Christian
right?
Watson, stud.
Right?
Like that kid.
So Love comes in. He gets them their second year. He had more wide receiver health. Right? They were healthy more of the time. If you look, he's not playing with a broken hand. I'm not taking anything away from Love. He did a great job. Good for him. Great kid. Totally. I like the player, but we can't compare and say, oh, it's the same circumstance. It's not the same circumstance. Love had receivers that were more experienced. They had their first year in the NFL out of the way. Lots of wide receivers get better by their second year. And he also had healthy receivers that were available to him, right? What did Rodgers I mean, Rodgers that year didn't have that. And then this year, and I understand I'm not as optimistic as I was last year. I understand the negativity. I feel it too, Gunny. I'm in the dumps too. So I understand everything you're feeling, but we can't forget. And when people just say, oh, it's just excuses, lining up 13 different offensive lines in a 17-game season is not simply an excuse. That's a problem.
Right.
That's a real problem. JD did not go out and injure those players himself. When he drafted Becton was an available player in college. He was not an oft-injured player. When he drafted AVT was not an oft-injured player, right? When he signed Laken Tomlinson, nobody complained. Right. Everybody knew Laken was a freaking all-pro guard, right? So none of these things, I don't see how we could blame JD because we would have done this or any GM would have done those things.
Yeah, and it's not to say there's not reason to be concerned, right? Or like that there's not work to do and all that shit. But the idea that we're not close, the idea that we're not, and there's a lot of fear mongering going around. Like, again, now look, if the team was just like in response to the article, if that's true, by the way, 30 people in and around the Jets can mean anything, Gunny. You know what I mean? And let me say this too, and then I'm going to derail my own fucking because I have a hard time remembering. But if those 30 people were that close to the Jets, wouldn't they have known that Rex Hogan was fired 3 weeks before the article came out? Didn't even know that. We didn't even hear about that. So nobody in that article had that nugget. No one. You know what I mean? Or else it would have come out. He was already not a member of the Jets for almost 3 weeks when the article came out, right? But so when you look at that, now let's say half the team hated Aaron Rodgers. If that was real, and the team couldn't stand Robert Saleh and they completely gave up on him, and they're tired of his sayings and his whatever. And if that's what's really going on, then we have a problem. That's a big, big problem. I don't buy it because it doesn't. We've heard nothing of the sort from anyone up until the article. You would see these players, they don't shut up. The only thing we did hear was that Becton doesn't like Keith Carter, right? We heard that. We hear that shit. But anything else, Garrett Wilson would have said, somebody would have said something about it's like nobody said anything. And that is a testament to the team. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have a million leaks. It's why the leak was such a big deal, because this team doesn't leak. Like, up until this point, there are very few leaks coming out of the Jets, unless they want it leaked, like that they're all into foie gras. You know what I mean? Whatever that is. Maybe it is, maybe it is. I don't know, but it's an allowed leak. You know what I mean? So anyway, all right, Jeremy, thank you, buddy.
So I'm gonna add to Jeremy's comment as well, right? Okay, so we're talking about the NFC versus the AFC. And I will say this, the Packers wide receiver core was banged up throughout, and their number one offensive weapon, in my opinion, being banged up in Aaron Jones was a big deal. But I digress. I wasn't comparing the 15 years of Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers to like now. I was referring to the last time we saw that man play a full season. The roster he played with is the roster that Jordan Love just played with. Yes, Christian Watson was hurt last year. Romeo Doubs was hurt last year. Like, those guys kept rotating injuries. So and Aaron Jones was actually hurt last year. Oh, and by the way, their best freaking offensive lineman was hurt last year. So I know they dealt with injuries because my wife watches every game. And if the Jets aren't playing, I'm watching them with her. Right. Like, I saw this team actually look competent. Now, Jordan Love, by the way, is in no way, shape, or form on the level of an Aaron Rodgers. I don't think the kid has the IQ for it. I do think he needs more coaching to open up some things for him. So, like, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is the last time we saw Aaron Rodgers, and granted, yes, he had an injured thumb. He led the league in drops. All that comes into play. I got you. But I feel like we keep forgetting that father time is a very real thing. Like, this isn't – I'm not making this up. Like, he will be 41 this year. The last time we saw him play a full season,
he'll be 41 in December. He'll be 41 in December. He'll be 40.
Okay. So then he was 38 the last time we saw him play a full season. Okay, that's fair. 38. He'll be 40 the next time we see him play a full season. I'm gonna give GreenBean that. Now he has an Achilles tear. This is the worst injury Aaron Rodgers has ever faced as a quarterback, and he's facing it now at age 40. And he's doing so behind the offensive line of a team that is in constant rotation. The offensive line is constant rotation, which I'm not taking away from Jeremy. That made perfect sense. My biggest argument with you guys is this. We've been seeing the same rotation for the last 4 years. So like, how can we sit here and be like, oh, man, this year's going to be different? That's where I'm coming from. If Aaron Rodgers had a solidified O-line, okay, cool. My argument is moot, right? I'm like, you're right. It's a good offensive line. He can get rid of the ball fast enough. We know how quick he is with analyzing defenses, getting the ball out. I know who Aaron Rodgers is, but we're talking about a guy who came from a top 10 offensive line for the last 10 years with Green Bay to a bottom 3 with the New York Jets. Granted, the injuries are an issue, but they've been an issue every year for the last 4. In the Joe Douglas era, we have not had a healthy offensive line one time. So for me,
in fairness, we haven't had an offensive line for the 5 years before that either.
This is also okay.
Oh, even better, man. That's where, and real quick, hold your thought, and that leads us to the poll, real quick, on whether or not I just want to close this poll because we got so far. It gives us to the poll, which are the Jets going to keep the FIFA grass? Let's see what they said, Gunny. 50% said yes, 49% said no.
Come on.
So just a hair 50, over 50.
Maybe. That's 50. You got to round that up.
50. Isn't that weird? 50 and 49. That's bizarre.
Yeah.
But hey, who knows? Maybe. But that could be something, man. This field, everybody complains about it. We have the highest injuries in the league.
Yep.
Yeah. The only good thing is that somehow they fixed it on defense the last 2 years. Anyway, go on. Complete your point.
Yeah, so I'm just saying,
Remember?
like, with the limited window we have with Aaron Rodgers, are we now going to convince ourselves that for the first time, as you just said, in the last 10 years, as Jets fans, we're going to have a healthy offensive line so he can go ahead and perform the way we need him to as the quarterback and our offensive coordinator on one leg at age 40 going into 41? Like, and that's why I just kind of sit there and I'm like, I'm worried, man. And again, I'm praying I'm wrong. I'm hoping Aaron Rodgers comes out next year and he's like a freaking cyborg and he somehow turns back the hands of time and none of our faults matter, right? People are asking, like, how many games would we have won this year? I said we get 3 more games if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback this year. But a lot of that is based off of how the schedule was lined up for us. We played 10 home games. 10. Like we never played a game away in back-to-back weeks. We didn't have to travel to the West Coast and come. The schedule this year was tailor-made for the Jets to succeed. It really was. I feel like the football gods were like, oh man, they got Aaron Rodgers. Let's give them some primetime games. Let's make their schedule more tolerable. We're not going to get that again next year. It's not going to be like, oh man, you're not going to have to travel from it. It's going to be more difficult. And I look at it that way in terms of more difficult. We all know Nathaniel Hackett is trash. There's not a single person here that's going to argue for Hackett. Not a single person. We're all hoping Aaron Rodgers can erase our offensive coordinator's lack of ability to coach. I'm hoping but when we say he's done it though, we've seen not McDaniel. Is it McDaniel? Yeah.
No, you're thinking
in Green Bay. McCarthy always been a good offensive coach. Freaking McDaniel. Is that right? McDaniel?
Matt LaFleur.
LaFleur. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, it's not right. That's LaFleur. He's a good offensive coach. Like we're putting the fact that Nathaniel Hackett was the OC before, where we all know that Aaron Rodgers gave him credit for the red zone plays. We were one of the worst red zone offenses in the NFL this year.
Oh my God. The gold, we were so high, we called it the gold zone, Gunny.
Yeah, literally the cold cold zone.
Yeah.
So like I'm wondering if that was Aaron Rodgers being nice because that's his boy, or because Aaron Rodgers can make things happen when Aaron Rodgers.
Here's the truth of it. Here's the truth of it. Aaron Rodgers is going to be Aaron Rodgers no matter who his offensive coordinator is, right? We know that. But the thing is, he's never won back-to-back MVPs with anybody else. So him and Hackett, whatever it is that it works. So, and again, Matt LaFleur called most of the plays, and that's all right. But still, without Hackett and LaFleur, it's a different story than with Hackett and LaFleur. So, whatever it is, it works. You know what I mean? And clearly, Hackett can't do it without Rodgers because we saw that. Jason Edwards checking. He says, if Aaron didn't get hurt, we might be playing this Sunday. We are close. Love you guys. Now, with our offensive line, Jason, I will admit, I don't think we would have made it to the Super Bowl this year, but we definitely make the playoffs. And anybody saying that, like again, I use the example, not even Aaron Rodgers, fucking Jacoby Brissett, Minshew, Tannehill, any of those guys, we beat Atlanta, we beat the Raiders. I mean, there's no doubt we're a 9-win team, in my opinion. No doubt.
That's facts.
There's no doubt in my mind. So, then you add the greatness of Aaron Rodgers. And what could this year have been? We were all psyched about it going into the season. We all knew we had our concerns. Dwayne Brown, Mekhi Becton. We were concerned, right? I didn't love this offseason. I made it very, very clear time and time again. But I was still very excited about the season. Now, I want to show you guys something that came out today. You guys might not have seen this. You might, but you might not have. Now, this is for everybody who's concerned about the fracturing in the locker room and the leaks and the offensive this and that and the other thing. Here's our beloved Garrett Wilson today. An article came out in the post from Brian Costello. And we won't spend too much, we're not going to read the whole article or anything, but here's what we got. So he was asked about the coaching staff, right? Obviously, because that's what's going on right now. The Jets suck. Everybody hates everybody. He says, there's never been a doubt for me. We've got the right people in the facility. That's how everyone in the facility feels. I didn't read into that article too much, but the people that are going to be here when we all report back are the ones that matter. We're all locked in on this goal that we have. Like I said, we have the right people in the facility, and we're going to go out and prove it to the world. A lot gets taken care of when you start winning games. That's the goal. So what do you make of that, everybody? Again, now what's he supposed to say? Not necessarily. I mean, we got 30 sources out there saying shit, whatever that is. Why wouldn't Garrett Wilson say, hey, well, look, we have our concerns. You know, I mean, what he's saying, it's bullshit. That's what I'm reading there. Maybe not all that strong, but he's saying, dude, we don't care who left. We don't care about Taylor Embry and Tim Boyle and all these guys that were leaking stuff to everybody. They're saying we're fine. We got Aaron Rodgers coming in. We got the people. We're going to fix the offensive line. We got to plug a few spots. We're going to be fine. We have the defense. We have the special teams. And again, if Jacoby Brissett was here, I think most people agree we have a winning record. We have 9 games. You know, we have 9 wins. We sneak into the playoffs, and then everything's different. Just that alone. So if that's the only thing that could change our opinion, then adding Aaron Rodgers and adding some offensive linemen is going to be a pretty damn good thing to. What do you got there, Tigo? What's he saying? You want me to read something? Let me see. Okay, yeah, you want it's a good point. Me and Jeremy were actually talking. I think it was Jeremy. Well, maybe it was, I forget who it was. Maybe it was it you, Tigo? We were talking about it. Let's not forget. Now, granted, I'm not defending Hackett. I want you to know that. Okay, I'm not. I just, again, the comment alone, I don't have to say anything else. The fact that he didn't fucking know that Breece Hall could be used out of the backfield and says it publicly is enough for me to not like the guy and not believe in him. But we did all want Ulbrich fired the first 3 or 4 games of 2022, which was his second year with us. Everybody wanted him gone. The guy was a loser. We couldn't stop a screen pass, blah, 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 blah. All the stuff. 2021, we looked bad. The beginning of 2022, we looked bad. Quinnen's yelling at the defensive line coach. We were in meltdown mode. If Robert Saleh gets fired, if let's say they decide to chop him out of the equation, who do you think is going to be our head coach, Gunny?
If you got fired right now?
Yeah. If Robert Saleh gets fired today, who do you think is going to be our head coach?
It'd probably be Ulbrich.
Ulbrich. No doubt.
Yep. It'd be Ulbrich.
And that's the point. That's the point. So again, what we feel one moment because of what it looks like, you change a couple of things, and all of a sudden you go from a guy that everybody wants to get fired that if they keep the staff, I mean, obviously if they fire everybody, it's a different story. But if they just fired Saleh, I think by and large, everybody agrees it's Ulbrich as the head coach. Maybe you can justify Middleton because that's who they made the coach for that one game, but I don't buy that they would want to put it in his hands for the full season. It would be Jeff Ulbrich. So what does that tell you? It's like, the whole thing is not to go to pieces. It's not to go to pieces about this whole thing. Let me get to some super chats here. Hold on. We got Jonathan Taylor Ham. That's what I see here. Jay Taylor checking in. Love you, GreenBean, but I can't buy into Hackett. Oh, I know. I hear you, man. Believe me, I'm not defending Hackett. I want to make sure that's clear. But we have seen Hackett and Rodgers to very, very great effect. I mean, what am I going to say? I mean, what can you take it away from him? Can you? I don't know. We saw him without Aaron Rodgers. Didn't look so good. We saw him with Russell Wilson. Didn't look so good, right? So, I mean, I'm not defending the guy. I'm just saying there's something about the Rodgers-Hackett combo that worked in the NFL, and we should be fine with it. There was one year where they weren't together here, and Hackett looked like shit. So, I mean, I don't know. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's not Zach Wilson. And I happen to be on the side. I think Zach Wilson is exceptionally bad. So it's not just like, well, he's not Aaron Rodgers. I think Zach Wilson is a problem. So that's the other thing. Wyatt checking in. Gunny, I'm at the gym getting up my PFT. Love you, guy. What's that mean?
It's a physical fitness test for the Marine Corps. Every year we got to go ahead and do a physical fitness test, and we got to do these weigh-ins. And it's going to be a 3-mile run, how many pull-ups you can do, and if you can do 100 crunches in 2 minutes. And if you're a good Marine or you got friends, you're going to get 100 crunches in 2 minutes. But I don't miss those days, man. I couldn't imagine having to run 3 miles in 18 minutes right now, bro. Like I haven't had to do that in a couple of years, and I don't miss it. But hey, more power to you, bro. Good
That's
luck on
right.
your PFT, man.
Hey, it's his turn, right, Gunny? You've been
Exactly.
there, done that. It's
Been
his
there,
turn.
done that. Got the t-shirts.
That's
You're
right.
up.
Good for you, Wyatt. Gunny, I don't know if you know this. Wyatt actually was over on this coast.
I remember.
I went and met him for lunch. And
Okay.
we had a good time.
Okay.
Alan Dodes, who was in the chat earlier, I'm not sure if Alan's still here or not, but Alan met us there. We met in Fredericksburg, Virginia, an old Civil War town. We went to this old Civil War looking colonial pub, and we had I think Wyatt had some beef stew. It was great, man. We had a good time, man. That was a good time. It was nice to meet Wyatt. Yeah. Good to see you, Wyatt. Georgie or Jorge.
Good old Jorge Perez.
Yeah, I was told that if he's Brazilian, it's Georgie. Somebody told me it's not Jorge in Portuguese. So, I mean, again, maybe they're wrong. I don't know. People tell me stuff. G Dubs is a leader, and what he said is leadership. Damn right it is. But what does that show you? Like, if the team was completely in shambles and he wanted out of here, he would say it. We've seen Garrett Wilson. He's an emotional guy. We've seen him when he's wide open, Zach Wilson throwing the ball 10 yards above his head. We've literally seen him stomp his feet on the ground on the field. So he's not incapable of saying things.
But given the opportunity to calmly reflect on his response, Garrett Wilson has been the model freaking athlete that you would want to put on a billboard because he is him, right? Leadership. I'm with Jorge in this one. I think that was definitely the politically correct Garrett Wilson standing in front of the podium and saying the right things. Don't forget, this guy had a dad who played, I think it was college basketball. Was it college basketball? So like he's had training from a very young age on what to say, like as an athlete, right? To go ahead and make sure your image is right. And I do believe he embodies his image. I think he is that good of an individual. I don't believe that it's fake at all. But I think he also understands, like, he really believes. I think Garrett Wilson really believes like he's him. He's that dog that, you know what, I can make anything work in any situation and win. So you're never going to see him cry and complain about any situation whatsoever. Love the comment. Love what he said. But I do believe a lot of that, even if he has his own personal frustrations, is because Garrett Wilson really believes in his personal ability to go ahead and change things around. Gotta love that about the kid. I love the kid, man. I'm getting the new jersey when it comes out. I can't wait. I'm just hoping this isn't a freaking individual we lose when it comes time to go ahead and freaking. God, I hope, man.
We ain't letting him out of here, man.
I hope so. Lifetime Jet. Lifetime Jet,
dude.
Gotta be.
He's got to be him and Brees. I mean, whatever it is. I mean, that they should be the face of the Jets,
the franchise.
You know what I mean? No doubt. It's like, look, Quinnen has become, which is funny because I've shared many times. I did not want Quinnen in that draft. It's not to say I didn't like the player, but I did not want Quinnen Williams.
Same here.
I still remember, dude. I was sitting there. I literally stood up when they drafted him because this is before we were on. Yeah, this before I was in front of her. I stood up and went like this.
I did the same thing. I did the exact same thing. I couldn't believe we went that route.
Now Quinnen is my favorite Jet, period. But I'll tell you, man, on the offensive side of the ball, it's Garrett Wilson. Brees is right behind him, though. I have to admit.
Yeah, but Garrett Wilson to me just is a slot ahead.
It's everything about him, dude. You know, it's just, I mean, I love the way he plays. I love the attitude.
He looks
himself. Like he's hurt. Yep. How many times has he been like limped off the field or dragged off? He's back 2 plays later.
Out.
He's literally shooed away the trainers. Get out of here. He's like, he's that guy. I love him.
I love Garrett Wilson.
Look, Jorge says he's actually learning Portuguese, planning on retiring. Oh, how interesting. So is it Georgie or Jorge? George?
I'm gonna say it's Jorge.
I think
he's having to learn Portuguege to retire in Brazil.
There you go.
I'm gonna
amazing
go with
powers of deduction there, Gunny. I'm impressed. Now you mentioned something. Let's do this for a few minutes.
Right.
You mentioned something. Let me see some. Jets. So you mentioned when you're gonna buy the Garrett Wilson new jersey. So you're convinced that the Jets are going to have a new uniform, right? Now, you think it's going to be the old logo on the green helmet? What do you think we're going to see?
I think they're going old school with next year's uniforms. I think they're going to go old school with the next year's uniforms, and I'm excited for it. And the only jersey I'm looking to pick up in that situation is Garrett Wilson. I do. I do believe they're going to go old school with it, old school freaking emblem. And I'm jumping on that number 5 Garrett Wilson jersey once that happens.
Now, I found some interesting thing here. Hold on. I found an interesting Jets uniform concept. Where the hell is it, man? Let me see. New York Jets uniform concept, concepts 2024. I found, now I gotta say, I love the old logo. I love the word mark.
I'm a big fan. Yep.
Okay. I like this. But I gotta say, I'm not necessarily in favor of going all the way back to just the pure. Like, I don't want the old green. If we do keep green helmets, I want this green. I would love to see them go with a white helmet, Gunny. That's what I really want. But check this out. I want you to look at this. This is interesting. And I want to know in the chat, let us know what you think of these. I'm going to tell you what I like about them. Now here's there are 2 different, look at the sleeves, right? Now, number 1, look at the helmet, okay? So you got our logo now. Let me see. But look at the helmet. See, there's actually a jet on the helmet, which I find interesting, right? Now, I don't know if I like it or not, but I do this right here, Gunny. You see this?
Yeah, I'm
the
a fan
shoulder.
of that. Yeah.
Okay. But look at this one. So look, there are 2 stripes here. Look at this one. Now look at the helmet, but look at the sleeves.
3, 1, 2, 4 stripes.
4 stripes, but then the same 4 stripes on the helmet. So what do you think of that?
Go back to the 2 real quick. That 4 looks clean with a modern twist.
Isn't that because it's our font NY?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is this. Remember, this is the hat that the dog ate. So it's this. So we've been using this for a while, everybody.
Right.
But so now I would love to see that. Now, let me say this. So the difference between the 2 helmets, obviously, this is still here. So not a lot of people don't like this. It's very plain Jane, right? Our word mark there. But the stripe on the helmet is interesting. It's the jet chemtrail thing. But then you got this. So that's that. So the difference is you got the 2 stripes here and the 2 stripes here. Mm-hmm. Or you got the 4 stripes with the NY and the 4 stripes on the.
I like the 4 stripes, man. I like
the 4 stripes.
I'm a big fan of the 4 stripes.
Is there an alarm? What's going on? Is there an alert? Is that you?
Yeah, that's me. That's freaking somebody's kid missing or something. It turned off.
Oh, we got to make sure.
It's the child alert.
Yeah. Okay. So I got to admit, if that helmet, if they said we're doing this, I wouldn't hate this. I would be happy with this.
No, I'm down with that.
I want to see what the chat thinks. Let me see. And then I'll bring Jeremy and Tigo on too. I want to get their thoughts on the uniforms. Harry likes the 4 stripes. Now, Harry, do you like the helmet though too? Or do we keep this word mark on the helmet and then we just go with the 4 stripes on the sleeve? I gotta say, I like the sleeves, man. The sleeves
I like a lot.
This shit we have now, this thing across the chest that's supposed to be a wing.
It looks weird. It looks
terrible.
Forced, or however you want to look at it. I'm not a fan. But I like that.
Squirmy likes the 2 stripes. Rusty doesn't like the stupid helmet. I say this all the time. Rusty, you know what the football, you know what it is, Rusty? It's a jet. People can't see it.
It's a jet.
It's a jet flying away.
It's just the exhaust you're seeing.
Yeah, you're seeing the engines and the wings flying away. See it right here, everybody?
He's like, I don't care. I don't like it.
But it's also, I don't like it either, man. I really don't. But I know what's funny. The football to me is the only thing that saves it for me. But I get it. I got you. And one Jets pod says, meh. While the white Phil likes the white helmet. Where have I seen that? Well, I know. I mean, I'll tell you what, man. We'll show a couple more. Modine, who's been bothering everybody in there. Yeah. Like you've been all right tonight. You've been dropping some facts. I've been seeing you. You're just, you know what it is? It's one thing to drop facts. It's another to gloat about it. That's the difference, right?
That's a big difference.
Modine, he loves a good gloat. He's eating gloat for dinner. Fried gloat. Gloat chops. So he says they look like every other Jets uniform, white and green with some enhanced. Well, that's what our colors are, friend. I mean, I don't know what to tell you there. White and green, what they're supposed to be, but it's all about, the design of it. I think he says if he had to pick, he likes the two stripes. Okay, Wyatt says I like everything but the pants. Oh my God, even look at the pants. Wyatt, did you look at the pants? I didn't even look.
I didn't see the pants either.
Oh, look at the pants, Gunny.
All
right, wait. Let's see what this. Oh no, I don't like these pants at all, dude.
Yeah, the pants in general are trash. The pants are. I didn't even look at that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Didn't look at the pants, but they're both trash. I'm gonna go with negative.
Oh man, I didn't even. Thank you, Wyatt. I tell you, man, I didn't even see the pants. Now we know the green pants. We just got to get rid of the green pants. We should wear white pants every week. White, or if we're going black. All right, I want to hear what Tigo and Jeremy have to say about this. And then we'll look at a few more uniforms because I want to, and we had a nice hearty debate tonight, but we'll end it on, not that we won't debate this too, but let's just, I think the uniform change is going to be a positive no matter how you slice it. What's up there, Tigo? How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Doing great?
Yeah.
Nice to
I don't
have
know if
you
we
around.
could get away with those 4 stripes just real quick. Adidas might call and be like, that's too close to 3 stripes, might get sued. It might be a whole thing. Got to remember the Nike jersey.
No, I think we're good. But now look, if we didn't do the pants, let's keep the pants out of it. The
pants are
bad.
bad.
But so Tigo, if you had to pick one, number one, do you hate these? Are you good? Are they okay?
I hate green helmets. I hate the green helmets. I think both jerseys are fine. I think the thick lines, I like that a lot more than the 4 little lines personally, but I don't like green helmets like at all. Just I find it so difficult to see a colored helmet, especially like a dark colored helmet on a field. I like the idea of white helmets flying around and you can just see those a lot better.
Yeah. Well, think about this, Tigo. The 2 greatest coaches that we've had, Weeb Eubank, Hall of Fame, Bill Parcells, Hall of Fame, both said the white helmets make it easier for the quarterback to see their own players.
Yeah.
And we just keep going back to green, dude. We don't get it. As an organization, we are stupid. We are a dumb organization. Jeremy, what do you think? If you had to pick one of these, do you hate them both? What do you think? Here's the 4.
Everybody that knows me knows that I'm wearing the only Jets logo that I like on my arm. But the problem I have,
what is it? What is
it? It's the 1980s, it's the 1980s logo.
That's the only one you like?
That's the one I like. But the problem I have with the 2 stripes, the white stripes in the middle of the green helmet, the first one is, when you go on Yahoo and you're creating a fantasy team and it gives you if you don't upload a picture, you can select one of those generic helmets as a logo. That's what that 2-stripe Jets helmet looks like. It's like when you select the green with the 2 stripes on it. So I don't like that.
On Yahoo? Like what, in fantasy, you mean?
Yeah, when you're creating a generic team, that's what the helmet looks like. It looks like a generic helmet.
So good.
But I don't like the stripes, so I guess I would go with the other helmets. And the pants are awful, but I agree with Gunny. I think he said, or Tigo, whichever one of you said the sleeve. I like the sleeves. And then I guess if I had to pick a helmet, it would be the second one because at least it doesn't look like that generic 2-stripe helmet in the middle.
I'm curious about the helmets, right? Because we keep going back to the green. How much of that is the NFL trying to limit how many white helmets there are? Because in the division alone, we're the only colored helmet in the division. The Bills run a white helmet. The Dolphins run a white helmet. And the Patriots' 2 helmets are silver and white. And so that silver is basically white. I wonder how much of that is the league coming in and saying, like, not everybody can wear a white helmet, because then we just have 22 white helmets out there and no one knows who anybody is. I don't know. I might just be
I don't know. I
over-exaggerating
don't know
something.
if I'm buying that one. I don't know.
The home
Maybe.
team still gets the advantage on that, though. I would think. I would assume.
You get 1 helmet, and then you get the alternate. That right? Like, so that's the thing. You only get 1 helmet.
You get
for all
1
uniforms.
helmet in the alternate.
No,
That's the
you're
thing.
right.
The black is a
Yep,
special
you're right,
helmet that
you're
you
right.
can't wear. You have to wear the 3rd uniform to
With
wear
it.
the black helmet.
That's a good point.
All right, real quick. I'm going to show you guys though. So I'll get right to the chat, but I want to say something.
Again, I'm not sure if that's true. I'm just putting that out there.
This is. Wait a minute. What did I do? Yeah, this is the jersey. This is my uniform.
Oh, I have a
All
Keyshawn
day.
jersey.
Every day. Oh, come on. I tell you, man. Right there. That's to me. That's Jets.
That's the one.
And by the way, our best Jets football in ever is always in this uniform. Every time we switch back, even though we've had little success here and there sprinkled in, it's this. And I look at this uniform and I think classy. I think it's not flashy. It's just football to me. I like stripes on the helmet. I hear what Jeremy's saying, but I like stripes. I like this. I like it all. I like the white. That's football to me. But who knows? We'll get back. Let me see what the chat's saying about this. Let me go. So let me see. I want the white helmet so bad. I know. One G says I can't wait for the new old look. I know. Let's see where. Let's see. They look. Sorry, I'm back far. That's why. Okay. Let's see. 4 stripes with the 80s logo. I'll tell you what, that would be fine. Now, I would love to see the everything 80s with just a white helmet, and we'll show that one in a minute. That's the baddest ass one going, man. In my
would the
opinion.
jerseys be better if they went with this design with the white sleeves and then all of the decals are green instead? Would that make that either one of the designs better, in your opinion?
So you're saying white jersey with all the stuff that's
No.
white being green?
The green jersey, but the sleeves, like this jersey, right? The sleeves are white. And so then the decals would be green. Would that be better?
I don't know. Yeah, go ahead, Gunny.
I think, yeah.
Right? I just started thinking, because I put on
yeah.
the jersey. This is what I grew up Jets with, right? I had to bust out the Geno jersey.
And so the jet would be green.
Yeah,
and
there it
the
is.
exhaust would be green going around your arm. Yeah, I could. I'd like that, actually.
It's
Yeah,
a little better, right?
A little bit better.
Just a
Yeah, I
little
would
bit.
say it's a little better.
So you're saying, just
you
like reverse
bridge
what
the
you got
gap.
on.
Yeah, you just bridge the gap in that era of like, this is what a lot of like this is what at least I grew up, right? This was the jersey that we wore. And you're bridging that gap of like, hey, this is what people loved in the past. We bridge that into this new generation of fake Adidas stripes with a jet in the middle.
Meld
and
it.
then there we go.
We need a little melding.
Melding.
One Jets pod. Wait, hold on a minute. One Jets pod is saying wait. So he did a gold mock-up. Is that what you're saying? Let me what'd you do here? Where is it?
Jersey mock-up?
Good. I think he did. I did a good mock-up of an all-white uniform on my X
good
and
mock-up.
my IG.
I got you.
Good. Oh, yeah, okay. I thought that's it. So what is it? I don't see it. I'm looking on your page right now. I don't see it.
I'm pulling it up right now. See if I can.
One Jets pod stole my joke, though, Jeremy. Did you see this? Let me show you. He stole my joke. I've been saying for a couple of years. I think I commented underneath it, too. I said, you stole my joke, dude. That's my fucking joke. Hold on. Here it is. Look. If Randy had dreamed his moment going back in time and punishing his younger self for stupid choices. That's my joke.
Yeah, that's all GreenBean. That's all GreenBean.
Come on, man. That's all right. It's all right. But yeah, so wait, you said you had it. You
It's
sent
in
the
private
link?
chat.
All right.
I believe this is it.
Okay. Let's take a look at this one, everybody. Hold on. Here we go. This is One Jets pod, everybody. Our buddy in the chat here. Can you see that? Look at that. It looks like Kenny O'Brien to me. You know, look like Ken O'Brien?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Fucking, that's what Kenny looked like. If you guys never saw Kenny O'Brien, that is Kenny O'Brien, dude. It's exact build.
In the flesh. Or
Big
digital
flesh. Old
flesh.
school, big freaking shoulder pads.
Massive shoulder
Yeah.
Can't lift your arm past this shoulder pads.
But this is it, dude. This is good. This is what I want. And this material even looks soft.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would definitely rock that.
Hell yeah. That's exactly what we want to do. Look, now I might take the logo and like kind of spice, just like make it like, I don't know, a little shinier, thicker, something. But that is maybe even a little smaller. I don't know, angled something. But that is exactly what I want to see the Jets wear. It's like a combo deal of what we had to some degree. Not quite what Tigo was talking about. We could change the jersey a little bit. But it is a melding. It's the white helmet of the 60s and 2000s, 70s and early 80s and 2000s, and then the logo of the late 80s and 90s.
Just goes
I
to
like
show,
it.
though, that no one can be happy because, like, the first comment is the face mask needs to be white. Just can we? Does that matter?
Yeah.
The face mask.
You know what?
The
You're
face
funny.
mask needs to be white.
It's a great point. Let me tell you something, Tigo. I almost never see the face mask, right? Like, it just doesn't stick out to me. I have friends who have complained about the Jets face masks for decades. Like, oh, the face mask, you got to go to this face. I'm like, really? I don't see it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it doesn't pop out to me. So, so you're saying a white face mask? Is that what they're asking for?
It's one of the first comments. Stud City put it on it. He's like, he likes it, but the face mask needs to be white.
Oh, underneath. Okay, all right, there we go. All right, Studs. Maybe lose the stripe on the helmet and make the green a metallic.
No. In your
chrome. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, make the green a little bit different green is what I'm seeing. But I think overall, it's like, imagine like if this green was the new Gotham green, right? Because I like the color green that we're using right now. But yeah, let's see. Let me see.
Gotham green. Okay.
What other comments do we have here? Show additional replies, and yeah, I don't care if they're offensive. Why do you keep asking me? I keep changing that setting. I don't care. Show me boobs, show me blood. I don't care. If I click, I want it to work. Jets need a jet fighter logo. Enough of the letters. I know, a lot of people say that. That we're the only team. It's like we're Jets and there's no jet. But I will say there is a jet. It's right here. That's the jet, everybody. It's just a Lear jet. It's like a Woody Johnson jet. It's different than the jet we want it to be, What are the comments we got here?
Like,
Let's
the
see.
Giants don't have a giant as their logo. Right? Like,
What is it?
the Giants don't have a giant as their logo. 49ers are literally just the numbers 49, right? Like,
Yeah, it's not some guy with a pickaxe
Yeah.
going
to argue that a little
prospecting.
bit. Oh no, I think as a fan base, I think one of the things that like we're known for unanimously across the league. Remember when I just got out of high school, they did a poll of the best chants in the NFL. I think the Jets won by a large margin. The Jets, Jets. Like, that's like what we're known for. Should be a part of the branding, in my opinion. Like, I'm not a fan of the plain logos. I always think they look tacky.
Like, what about this? You like this? Right. This is Gunny's favorite right here. That's what he likes.
The F-18 fighter jet.
Yeah. Now, what about this? This is like almost like a Seminole feeling thing, isn't it? But it's a
like
jet.
An arrow.
Yeah, like an
That looks
arrow.
more like an arrow to me, like the tip of an arrow or
like
a arrow tip. Yeah.
Yeah. What about this? Come on. What's going on with this? Come on. What about this?
That looks like a hockey goalie.
Yeah,
That really does.
Point.
Yeah, that is a.
Yeah, I mean, well, you guys looking at I'm looking at the logo and the colors, man. You fucking.
That's what the logo makes it. A hockey goalie.
Yeah. All right. Look at this.
The Jets, not the Bombers.
There it is. That's it. Black face mask. Is that better?
Yeah,
Jake
yeah,
Taylor
that's
said
clean
he
right
didn't
there.
think that. I didn't
I
think
didn't even look at the
uniform
face
needed
mask
change
until you
either,
brought it
buddy.
up.
Now that's all I see. Let's see. Let's see what else. So we got some more. Look at this. Look at this thing. Ugh,
What the heck?
that's just a mess.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
no.
city,
Too
you got
much
the
with it.
logo
Nope.
stuck on a plane. We got cloud.
We gotta
Some
pass on that one.
discount F-18 looking thing. Like, come
That's
on,
it.
man.
Scout
relax.
F-18. That's the great value version of an
That's
F-18,
the-
bro.
There we go. This is the
whatever
winner,
Russians
everybody.
have.
Oh
This is
my
it.
God.
Oh, with the Seahawks
Imagine,
green? Love it.
guys. Imagine they come out with that shit.
Oh,
We did it. We fixed it for the fans.
that's as
Now
bad
I
as
see the face mask.
that's as bad as the logo in the middle of Cleveland's football field.
Oh man,
Dude,
Yeah,
look
that's
at the
horrible.
S.
We
Look
can't.
at the S with the jet on it. Look at this.
Nope.
Oh
Nope.
man, that one's
The,
bad.
the jet is literally no.
I feel bad
Nope.
because someone worked hard on that, but like
They
damn.
did, and I
Dude.
appreciate the effort and the creativity.
I
but
don't appreciate it,
That's-
dude. If,
gonna
if
be a
you put
pass.
work in and then you landed on lime fluorescent green for this face mask, and that you deserve to be ridiculed. Boo this
you
man.
land
That's
on
gonna be a
that
pass
Seahawks
for us,
green,
big
man?
dog.
You land on that Seahawks green. That's an interesting, not that one, but like the one below that would be an interesting.
the
Like,
hell
what
is
if we
that?
went to an
This-
olive drab?
Is that a Pokemon?
No. It's the
Oh, this
old,
is Marvel. If Marvel,
the
if
old
Disney
spiders.
bought the Jets.
Yep. Pass.
That
no,
helmet
thank you.
doesn't even make anatomical sense.
It doesn't.
Look
It
at
doesn't. No. We're gonna say
Just
no.
what
Thank
kind
you.
of chin do you have to have for that helmet to work?
Oh, that's
It's
so
gonna be a
good.
pass.
Oh my
for
God.
us.
And then we got this turd. Everybody hates this. Okay. What else we got? Look at this. This is interesting. It's like thicker. See that? Thicker. What do you think?
Looks
don't
like
like
an Autobot should wear that as their helmet.
Autobot. What about this one?
But it is a white face mask, so we know people are gonna love that.
They'll love that part.
right.
I don't hate that.
No, I like this.
Yeah, that one.
I don't hate
Yeah,
that.
that one is okay. It's okay.
Go from gray to white, and I think that's infinitely better.
Well, I know. Well, is that gray? Is that what they're going for? Is it just a hue?
think
Yeah, I don't
so.
know. People see. Yeah,
No,
a
'cause
couple
you can
of
see
them.
on the back.
It's called
on that
pearl.
back
Oh, right on.
Pearl
Yep,
white.
you can. Yeah, you can see the white on the back, on the bottom.
Yep.
That's yeah.
and on the
Okay.
top.
Yeah, Knobcraft checking in. So I'd still love fighter gray uniforms with stenciled numbers and the shark mouth on the helmets, like on the nose of a fighter jet. I think that's what that one helmet was going for there, Knobcraft. This guy over here. I think that's what they were shooting for there. Something like what you're talking. Look, you see the gray.
Yeah, that's a
I think
Pokemon.
I think Knobcraft made this one. That's what I'm thinking.
It's a
It would
Knobcraft
be
original.
cool- It would be cool if they committed more to like when they do the salute to service, because they come out with some really, really cool salute to service like jerseys, and they never use them like ever. And it'd be interesting to see, especially like with the teams that can justify it, like that have names that could be used for salute to service, like the Jets and the Patriots and stuff like that, to be able to like one off, you get a fourth uniform and like it's olive drab. I don't know.
Yeah.
That
Well,
might
this
be
one is my favorite.
simpler in me.
Clearly, this is whatever the hell is going on here. This is like for a dog man. You know what I mean? Somebody like a wolf face or something. I don't know what the hell this is, but they got
Someone
they're
with a
going.
massive underbite.
Yeah, right. They got the army green though. That's kind of. I think that's where they're going with that one, right?
I like the
Uh,
Yeah, that's
look at this. Look at this thing. Holy shit! Can you imagine?
Jesus.
My God.
what is that?
They
People
can't
don't
rock
know.
that because their stadium, right? When you get into the sun, you'd be blinded by that thing. When the sun hits you, you're already baking at 120 degrees. You get a
That's too much.
sheen off of that thing, you're blinding half of the stadium.
Right. What do you think of this? Whoops. Come on. No good. Look. Oh, they stuck the football on there for Rusty. There it is.
Nah,
Well, that's the old football though.
the football is like the cockpit. I'm a still pass on that.
There you go.
Oh my
Look at
God.
This
what is
helmet
that?
gets sued for sure. 3 stripes. Oh, what is that?
They don't own 3 stripes. You can get away with it, I think.
I mean,
think you
Adidas
can. I
might
think-
disagree with
I
you on
think
that
they
one.
actually own 3 stripes.
I would, if I was Adidas, I would disagree with you on that one.
Yeah, me too.
I would tell Adidas to suck it. I would say, screw you, dude.
And then,
Yeah, because they have specific stripes. It's like a specific stripe. You know what I mean? It's like an actual, like if you look at the Adidas logo, it's actually
like a layout.
Yeah, there's a specific. It's like a, for lack of a better word, there's a font to it.
yeah, there's
just
thickness measurements and stuff.
Yeah, right. You make it jagged. Look at Garrett Wilson. He's wearing this one. I didn't even notice that he wore that helmet. Pretty interesting. That's interesting though. Look at it. It's like,
Looks like a helmet crashed. It looks like a jet crashed into his face.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what it does.
I'm like, it looks like it went wrong, horribly wrong.
It
And
looked like they ran out of paint and they just started splattering.
they got lazy.
All right,
got
this is the
lazy
last
with
one we'll look at because this is the winner, I think. Where did it go? Where did it go,
Oh,
man?
come on. There it is.
There
There
it
it
is.
is.
This is the winner.
Hey, they got the double stripes.
Ding,
They
ding,
do.
ding.
Hey,
They
the
do.
white sleeves. We talked about the white sleeves.
And
It's
this
a white
was,
helmet. Oh, but it's not a white face mask.
Who's that?
and
Mike
just
Mason?
so you,
Yep.
so we
Something
know
going on like that.
it's not a white face mask, and it's really tight. The guy's face is kind of sticking out a little further than maybe you want. But this is Tim Fessmeyer, timfessmeyer@gmail.com if you want to support. Oh, here
There's
he
a
is
front
again.
view.
Look at this. These are the Color Rush. Okay, look at this guy. That's an interesting
Looks like a freaking superhero.
A
just
unitard, right? I like
floating.
unit. And look
Very
at this. Look at this on the chest. Look at the numbers. It's stuck up here somewhere.
That's
I love
different.
it. That's
That
very,
is
very
different.
good. Top shelf. All right. We got
It's
one
top
more.
shelf.
Top shelf, everybody. And then this one. What do you got? The alternate helmet. I don't know. This ain't
See,
gonna
that's
do
the
it.
super discount F18. That's not even. That's a discount F16.
There you go. You know, when I was a kid, it was the F14. That was the top of the heap. Now look at us. You know. Anyway, all right. There you go. So there's that. There's that, everybody. What do you guys think? You guys like that? Oh, look at it. Infrared. Yeah, I know these are funny, man. These are pretty funny. Thank you, Knobcraft. You know, you're not alone. A lot of people have talked about that gunmetal. Like, why don't we have gray, gunmetal in our uniform? Like Jets are, it's like it gives us that feel.
Yep.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know. I like our green. It's been our color. I'm a big green. You see, I've committed to the green thing, to the green shtick. Jay Taylor checking in. Most of these look like XFL. Yeah, I hear you.
Yep.
Most of them are subpar. Let's say that, right?
This is going to be really funny. I don't know how I got this, but apparently Mexico has a football league.
Do
they? And all of their uniforms are just clip art uniforms. And I was just getting Mexican football league vibes.
Really? No way. We gotta now look at this. Wait, hold on a second. Mexican. I wonder if they have a team that perpetually sucks like the Jets. Let's see. Mexican Football League. Right.
Like this is soccer or
LFA.
real, like,
No. American
like
football. It's
football.
called the LFA.
Oh,
LFA
right.
Mexico.
LFA.
be bad.
LFA Mexico. Right. All right.
Liga de Fútbol Americano.
All right. Yeah. Liga de Fútbol Americano Profesional. Profesional.
Tigo said that well.
Profesional.
See, I got like Legacy Fighting Alliance when I googled it.
Hold on.
It's different.
You gotta put LFA Mexico. You gotta put Mexico in.
My bad. Mexico.
Tigo, you said that so well. I was waiting for you to say go.
I thought it too.
I can do it.
I
You
swear to
just gotta
God,
let
I
me know,
thought
man.
it too.
All right. So here we go. We got the Dinos over here. What do you think this team's called? The Dinos. Look at that. Oh, wait. I'm on a different page. Hold on. I hate when it does that. Hold on a second. Where is it? Oops.
There's one, I think it's like the Bandits. I don't know what it is.
All right. Hold on. I'll get you guys there.
I'm trying to read this thing. It's all in Spanish. I don't see anything.
Here we go.
It's Cadillos.
So here we go.
That's a clip art logo if I've ever seen one.
Look, you got the
Galapagos
Dinos.
versus the Mexicas.
So what's this one?
That
What-
one is
that's
called the Fundidores.
The
Founders.
Fundidores. What is that? What does that mean?
Founders.
The Founders. I thought that was
I
going to say
speak
the
Portuguese,
Fires.
so like translating
Close.
this might not be 100%. So if you speak Spanish and you know,
Put it in the chat.
I'll read it.
All right. I'm going to take
like
a
I said-
guess. We'll guess at these first, okay? So obviously that's the Dinos. This is, you say the Founders. I would have said the Flames. This is
I
the
would have
Red
said
Dogs.
Flames too.
Red Dogs or
Red
Devil
Dogs.
Dogs or something like that. What
Those
do you
are the
guys think?
Galgos.
I don't know.
Don't
what that
tell
is.
us so fast. I want to hear what Jeremy
Those
thinks.
are the Roosters.
Wait, hold on. Wait, go to do the dog one, Gunny.
Yeah,
think?
I'm with Red Dog on that one. These are the Red Dogs.
Red Dogs. Jeremy, what do you think?
The Red Dobermans.
Dobermans.
Those are
Right.
the Greyhounds. If you
Or
had
the
to
Red
pick one,
Chihuahuas.
they're the Greyhounds. Oh,
All
the
right.
Chihuahua. That's it, Gunny. That's it.
That's the
Chihuahuas.
Chihuahua.
Translate
Yeah.
it now.
Is it the Chihuahuas?
I have no idea. I'm looking it up.
I don't know,
Pull
but
up
I'm
Google
looking at
Translate
it
right
now, and I feel like that's what that would be.
Gator checking in.
No,
Hey,
I
Gator,
was
by the
right.
way. Wait, hold on. Gator, by the way, that thing that you did with Ryan the other day might
Oh.
just be the best thing you've ever done.
That was
I mean it.
magnificent.
That was magnificent. Truly. The Ulbricht one was good with Jeremy. That was fun. But the one with Ryan, did you see that one, Jeremy, when he goes, I love you too, Jeremy, or whatever the hell it was? Remember that?
It was awesome. He's the best. You didn't see it yet, but it's in our Talking Jets chat. Gator made 2 new logos for me as well. And sent
Oh,
them.
I saw it. Yeah, I looked.
Yeah, they're real good.
Gator made those. I thought Ryan did it.
Well,
Gator,
Ryan,
I need your
Ryan
help.
made another version. Ryan made another version where he
Gator
replaced
does logos?
He replaced Gator's
Gator
head.
does everything.
I'll send you the one he made for Jeremy. It's legit.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Hey,
need Gator's
right now.
contact info because I need.
And let me tell you guys something. I'm going to show you guys. A lot of people don't know this, I think, because he's only got 180 subscribers, and it's bullshit, quite frankly.
Who?
Gator has
Gator?
a YouTube channel. Yeah, Gator
Hey,
has a YouTube.
Hey, put that out there right now.
Yeah,
I'll
we're going to
jump
put
right
it
on
out
that
there right now. I'm going to put it in the chat. Number one.
Hell yeah.
But I'm going to show you guys the channel. Then yeah. Wait. All right, it's in the chat. I'm going to pin it too. I'm going to go ahead and pin. Or Jeremy, can you? Or no, I made you not. You're not the admin anymore. Dom is. I had to make Dom the other night. Hold on. All right, so I'm going to show you guys. We'll get back to the Mexican football in just a second. That's exciting. Oh, it's almost 10 o'clock. Maybe we won't. We're going to just do Gator. Hold on. So this is Gator's
Look at that,
YouTube
Gator.
channel.
You got us, bro. Like this.
So Gator Sports, right? It's a YouTube at Gator Jets. Well, like he does all kinds of exposés on what was happening on the Jake Assman show a lot of the time. He does Buffalo Jet. Look at it. GreenBean. Let's see what happened on when GreenBean was on. Let's see.
Breaking sports news in from the
Wait,
Jake Assman
can you
show.
guys hear
When
it?
Oh,
Can you hear
I've
it?
seen this.
Yeah.
I've seen. So this is Gator.
Yeah.
This is Gator. Can
Bro,
you guys hear it
I
this
watched
time?
his stuff. His
Yeah, we
stuff
can hear
is so good.
You can hear it.
All right, you can hear it. All right, so let's watch. I can't show too much. YouTube will say that I'm stealing your shit. But here you go.
When Jets YouTube legend, the great GreenBean,
Legend.
appeared on Jake's show, something happened that can only be described as another in a series of tragic and unfortunate events.
This person's called in under the name GreenBean. So let's go to GreenBean. He's next up on the
He goes.
Ghostbuster hotline. GreenBean, what do you got for us?
There he is.
This is not my vape pen. This is an Apple TV remote. Hey guys, GreenBean here. Are these Jets for real? I mean, will Denzel Mims be a difference maker this year? We'll get balls with Manscaped. To shave your balls with Manscaped. Promo code Jets Forever. Oh shit, she started the mobile home. Stop, no, don't leave the counters outside the window. Oh, or honey, hold on, don't leave yet.
Yeah,
Oh my
not
God.
bad, right?
So good, man.
Subscribe.
And you know it's funny.
subscribed.
That's actually my my RV. That was actually my fucking real RV. I don't have that anymore, but yeah. So don't forget to support Gator, everybody. He does all the Jake, any of the graphics, the Shadow Realm, all that shit you see on Jake's show. That's all Gator. The new Talking Jets intro is Gator. Obviously, all the fun clips that he puts together. Gator is a true gem, man, and we should give him some love. If you haven't subscribed, again, let me go pin that comment.
Is Gator on Twitter? I gotta go
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's on Twitter.
That's where he's famous is on Twitter.
Hold on, let me pin
Is
the
it Gator? Word.
Oops.
I think his Twitter is Gator McCluskey. Gator_McCluskey.
All right, so I pinned Gator's YouTube channel to the top of the chat there. You know what, Gator? I'm going to throw you in the comment section. You know the what did you call it, man? What do I call it again? The subject? I'm like fried.
Subject line?
Line.
This is Gator, right? Come on, why am I?
Yeah, it's blurry as hell.
Figure it out.
Jeremy, do the thing so Gunny doesn't feel bad that he's blurry.
I feel like it's broken.
There you go, Gunny.
Gator McCluskey 22. Is that him?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
I want to follow the right guy. Oh, it's still working. I don't know if it's working, sis. It's still working. Nope. It doesn't work for me anymore.
Hey,
no, I did not. I did that
the
new update, and now it sucks.
Hey, T. Gerardo says LFA is the top level of American football in Mexico. They have an alliance with Canada. That might be exciting. See them like play each other.
We're getting invaded from either side, and we're stuck in the middle.
And we're just here better than both of them.
And we're over here messing around.
And then we have the audacity to call the Super Bowl winners the champions of the world. They never go out there and beat the Mexicans or the Canadians.
Of the world.
We haven't even tested ourselves against the LFA, for God's sakes. Yeah, Gator's the man, everybody. Gator's the man, truly. Yeah, you're welcome, Gator. Gator's a good guy. Talented, man, like truly talented. So, all right, well, look, that's going to do it. It's 10 o'clock. I got work in the morning. It was fun. So, I don't know. Gunny, what do you got coming up? You got any news?
Yeah. So, hang out at the hangar with Gunny is launching next week. Finally getting my own stream with everybody. I'm going to be bugging all of you guys to jump on and just talk football with me. I've been talking about it for a long time now, and the wife was just like, hey, you've put all this money and effort and you've paid for stuff. You need to go ahead and stop BSing and just do it. And I'm like, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I got to stop making excuses and just do it. So hang out with Gunny hang out at the hangar with Gunny is popping off here next week. In fact, Gator, I'm going to need your help. I'm going to go ahead and reach out to you to go ahead and make me a new logo for it, because that's what I've been messing around with. That's been taking me forever, but I am willing to pay if need be to go ahead and get an expert to make my stuff look good. So doing that, and then I still have my exit interview video dropping. Actually, you know what? This weekend. It's this weekend. I've been editing it for the last week. I'm lazy. I've been lazy. I'm going to stop. So it'll be dropping this weekend as well.
Well, there you go. Jeremy, what do you got cooking, buddy?
This is when I usually plug Sunday, but there's nothing on Sunday. But I'll just say I have a series of videos coming out. It's not so much. It's more all NFL related because I'm just looking at this year's quarterbacks. You know, I have an interest in quarterbacks each year that are coming out in the draft. I like scouting them and making predictions and stuff like that. So I have a bunch of videos with my new GM, Tony, my advisor, and together we're just looking at quarterbacks, looking at film and all that stuff. So if you're interested in that stuff, check out Jets Chaos.
All right. Tigo, what do you got?
You know, just Jets content. I'm trying to start bringing in the positional breakdowns specifically in regards to the Jets, because I don't need to talk about the best safeties if we're not looking at safeties until day 3. And so I'm just trying to be, tailored content so that you guys might be able to know the names on draft day, because no one not named Dom or myself has enough time to go sit there and watch the 400 prospects that we do every year. So trying to tailor down that list of players for you guys to have a more digestible way. But most importantly, Wednesdays at 8 p.m., me and GreenBean on the Talkin Jets channel.
Right on, man. Good stuff. And I'm happy to be here with you guys. I appreciate it. And you guys in the chat, man, thank you for being here. Please don't forget to like the video on the way out. Hit that thumbs up button, the milk thumbs for us. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not. It is appreciated. With that all said, we're going to get out of here. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, man.
I want to
stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets, Jets.